Welcome back, students. In continuation with the online class series of class 9th general science, and the chapter is chapter number 5, that is the fundamental unit of life. And we have already talked about the cell, the varied component parts of the cell, various types of the cell, and the functions that are based upon the structures of the cell. Now today we are dealing in detail about the structure of the cell, and we have already talked about the nucleus, the cytoplasm, plasma membrane, etc. Today we are going to talk about the cell organelles. As I have already told you in our previous video, what are cell organelles? Cell organelles are the integral part of the cell that are formed by the invagination of the plasma membrane inside the cell. As a result of that, a large number of the cell organelles have been found, a large number of the structures have been found, and they are basically responsible for carrying out varied functions in a specific and a precise manner. Basically, we have already talked about the division of labor in our previous classes, where I have already told you about the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell, and I have also told you what is the necessity or what is the need of the the division of labor, or what is the significance of the cell organelles in the cell. So today we are going to talk about the cell organelles. I have already told you that the cell organelles, as they are membrane bonded structures, they can be classified or they can be grouped into non-membrane structures, single membrane structures, and double membrane structures. So when we are talking about the non-membrane structures, these are basically the ribosomes, for example, which are not bounded by any of the membranes. Then talking about the single membrane structures, there are a large number of them. For example, the endoplasmic reticulum, the Golgi apparatus, or you can call it the Golgi body or the Golgi complex, whatever you want to say. And the third, it is the lysosomes, vacuoles, etc., etc. A large number of them are still there to be discussed. And when we are talking about the double membrane structure, the double membrane organelles, they are: number 1, nucleus. We have already talked about the nucleus, the mitochondria, and third, it is the chloroplasts or the plastid, that is the plastids. So now we are going to study each and every of these cell organelle in detail along with their structure and function. So starting off with the very first, that is the the endoplasmic reticulum. When we are talking about the endoplasmic reticulum, previously it was known as sarcoplasmic reticulum. And when we are talking about the endoplasmic reticulum, its structure, it appears somewhat tubular and sheet-like structures. It may also contain the membrane bounded rounded vacuoles. So this is all about the structure of the endoplasmic reticulum, which consists of the tubules and the vesicles, which are single membrane structure, and they are stacked one above the other. So when we are talking about the endoplasmic reticulum, it is a single membrane structure. Basically, the membrane is nothing else but it is the invagination of the plasma membrane itself, which forms certain type of the vesicles or the tubules which are stacked one above the other, forming a continuous framework or a continuous network of endoplasmic reticulum. So the membrane is very though it is what to say, an invagination of the plasma membrane, therefore it is going to be very much similar in what to say, structure, in resemblance to the plasma membrane. Then talking about the other thing, it consists of a number of vesicles, tubules, etc., which are stacked one above the other. Then, depending upon the presence and absence of the other associated structure, the endoplasmic reticulum is again divided into two types. So, ER is of two types. The first is RER, that is the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and talking about the second, that is SER, that is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Now, what is rough endoplasmic reticulum and what is smooth endoplasmic reticulum? We are just going to deal up with detail regarding these two. So, we are saying up over here that the endoplasmic reticulum, it is of two types, that is RER and SER. RER signifies the rough endoplasmic reticulum and SER signifies the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. RER is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. SER is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Then second, when we are talking about the RER, it's the surface or the membrane, it appears to be rough due to the presence of certain associated structures like the ribosomes. So we can say that certain associated structures like ribosomes are found attached to the membrane, whereas no such structure is found in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, that is, no associated structure is found attached to the SER or the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Then third, since such structures like ribosomes are found attached to the membrane, therefore the surface appear to be rough and warty, and hence the name given to it is rough endoplasmic reticulum. Due to the presence of ribosomes, the surface appears to be rough and warty, and hence the name given to is rough endoplasmic reticulum. When we are talking about the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, since no associated structures are present, therefore the membrane appears to be very smooth, or the surface of the membrane appears to be very smooth and continuous. Since no associated structure is present, hence the membrane appears to be smooth and continuous. Then fourth, here we are saying that associated structures like ribosomes are present, and we also know that ribosomes, they are the protein factories, protein synthetic factories, means they are basically concerned with the synthesis of proteins. Hence we can say that rough endoplasmic reticulum itself is a site of production of proteins related to synthesis of proteins. And when we are talking about the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, basically the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it is related with production or synthesis of lipids and cholesterols, or we can say lipids and fats. Basically related to the synthesis of lipids and fats, and hence depending upon their function, the RER, since it is responsible for protein synthesis, and hence the number of the RER is basically much and more prominent in those cells where protein requirement is very very large, and similar manner the SER is found in more in number in the cells which are requiring the lipids, that is we are basically concerned with the storage functions. So these are the differences of the RER and the SER. Now talking about the functions of the endoplasmic reticulum. The very first function of endoplasmic reticulum is membrane biogenesis. Here in this video only, I have told you that the endoplasmic reticulum, the membrane of the endoplasmic reticulum is nothing else but it is the invagination of the plasma membrane itself, and here in the endoplasmic reticulum in turn also forms the membrane of the other structures or the other organelles of the cell, and hence it forms a continuous system of membranes, and thus we say that it is very much helpful in membrane biogenesis. Membrane is membrane, bio means living, and genesis is to synthesize, means it is basically concerned with the synthesis of the membrane or continuous formation of a network of membrane. So next function, as we have already told you that it forms a sort of a network all throughout the cell. It forms network since the tubules and the cisternas, they are stacked one above the other. It forms a sort of a network. Therefore, it is very much responsible for formation of network within the cell, due to which the various metabolites that are synthesized, either the proteins or the lipids which are synthesized by the endoplasmic reticulum, they are transported to various parts of the cell wherever they are required. Third, it forms the cytoskeleton of the cell. As it is forming the network system of the cell, therefore it is also forming the cytoskeleton of the cell. Thus, skeletal framework of the cell, not the cytoskeleton, it is the skeletal framework. Skeletal framework which provides a particular shape to the cell. Then fourth, it is basically having function of synthesis, that is it is synthetic in function. Synthetic in function means it is basically responsible for synthesis of various bolides. And in certain other living organisms like higher animals, it is also related with the detoxification of drugs. So students, in this video we have already discussed about the structure and function of the endoplasmic reticulum, the type of the endoplasmic reticulum, the two types, that is the RER and the SER, and what are the differences between them. So here we complete up with the endoplasmic reticulum in detail. Now we are going to talk about the Golgi complex and the lysosomes in our next video. Thank you.